we have thoroughly covered that they've lost $50 million, a season, or they were expected to lose $50 million as a league this year. Reports are it's $40 million, not 50, that they're in the red.
The WNBA is facing an unprecedented crisis this season, despite what should have been a high point for the league. With the arrival of Caitlin Clark, a standout rookie whose fan following and talent have captured attention nationwide, hopes were high for financial stability. But now, the league faces a jaw-dropping $50 million loss even after Clark's impactful debut season. This financial blow has raised urgent questions about the future of the league, leaving investors and fans alike wondering if the WNBA can bounce back. So what led to such massive losses, and what could be done to steer the league out of this financial turmoil? Let's get started. The WNBA's financial struggles are nothing new, but the sheer scale of this season's losses has created real concern. The league has consistently operated at a loss since its inception, but a $50 million deficit highlights how unsustainable this path has become.
The league has lost, as we've talked about, $40 million even this year now.
The WNBA's operating costs have outpaced the revenue brought in by tickets, sponsorships, and merchandise, despite recent gains in popularity. In part, the WNBA's expenses are up because of investments meant to improve player experiences, such as offering charter flights for teams. This effort alone is costing the league $50 million over 2 seasons, which, though beneficial for player well-being, has created a new financial burden. Caitlin Clark's massive appeal has led to packed stadiums, record-breaking jersey sales, and increased viewership, but it hasn't been enough to offset these hefty expenses. As a result, league executives and NBA backers are now left reevaluating whether the WNBA's financial model can be sustained. One of the reasons the WNBA has been able to keep its doors open in spite of operating at a loss for over 25 years is due to its partnership with the NBA. The NBA has contributed annual support of over $15 million, covering various expenses like marketing, travel, and facility costs. This support is a lifeline, but with continued losses, NBA investors are growing wary. The NBA owns roughly half of the WNBA, with the other half owned collectively by the 12 teams. This unique ownership model means that any financial challenges the WNBA faces also impact the NBA's own bottom line. The arrival of Caitlin Clark has been beneficial, as she's brought in new fans, increased media attention, and boosted merchandise sales. Yet, despite Clark's substantial impact, the WNBA's financial condition remains a significant worry for NBA stakeholders, especially as the league heads into deeper financial negotiations with players. Without a major turnaround, the NBA's financial patience may run thin, raising questions about its continued involvement. It's an interesting paradox. The WNBA is seeing some of its highest viewership numbers, and Caitlin Clark's debut season alone brought in record ratings. Her playoff games attracted over 1 million viewers, outshining even some NBA games during the same period. This uptick in visibility and fan engagement should logically spell success. Clark's popularity has not only brought new eyes to the league, but has also translated into heightened interest in merchandise and tickets. However, while these numbers are a step in the right direction, they haven't been enough to overcome the league's high expenses. The $200 million media rights deal with Disney, Amazon, and NBC brought hope, but much of this revenue is quickly absorbed by league-wide costs that continue to climb. It's a classic case of popularity not yet leading to profitability, a reality the WNBA needs to change if it hopes to retain financial support from the NBA and its own investors. As WNBA players continue to push for higher wages and better working conditions, the league finds itself in a delicate position. Players argue they deserve a larger cut of the league's revenue, echoing the NBA's revenue-sharing model, where athletes earn a percentage of profits from sources like merchandise and broadcasting deals. However, the WNBA's financial instability complicates these demands. Players are pushing to renegotiate the current collective bargaining agreement (CBA) to increase their pay and secure a revenue-sharing structure. This issue is particularly personal for Caitlin Clark, whose jerseys have been bestsellers, yet she sees no earnings from this merchandise. While fans are lining up to buy gear with her name on it, Clark and other players receive nothing in return. This disconnect has fueled growing frustration among athletes, who feel they're helping the league grow without fair compensation. The WNBA will soon be forced to revisit its CBA terms with the players' union, but whether it can afford to make significant changes remains an open question. Caitlin Clark has undeniably re-energized the WNBA. With her remarkable talent, charisma, and ability to draw fans, she's become a beacon for women's basketball. Her games consistently draw large crowds, and her impact on the league's visibility is unlike anything seen before. Yet, some WNBA veterans reportedly feel uneasy with Clark's rapid rise. Some feel overshadowed by her success and fear it could undermine their own roles and standing in the league. This internal tension has sparked debates within teams as the league tries to balance the needs of its existing stars with the excitement Clark brings. Her influence has gone far beyond attendance numbers. She's brought in a new wave of fans who are highly engaged and supportive. Yet it's fair to ask if even Clark's popularity can offset the WNBA's massive financial pressures. While her star power offers a hopeful glimpse into the league's potential, it's only one piece of a much larger puzzle that needs to be solved to ensure long-term success. One of the league's most significant expenses this season has been charter flights, costing $50 million over 2 years. This measure aims to support player comfort and align WNBA travel with men's leagues but has further strained finances. Though fans and players appreciate this improvement, the league's budget is feeling the pressure. Leaders face tough choices: continue these benefits and hope revenue grows, or face backlash by scaling back. Prioritizing player comfort has come at a cost that current revenue simply can't meet. The NBA has been a vital support for the WNBA, providing $15 million annually to help keep operations running. This funding covers essential costs, from marketing to travel. Yet as the WNBA's losses grow, NBA investors are beginning to feel the weight of their commitment. Some are now questioning whether continued funding is sustainable. Owning 50% of the WNBA, NBA investors have a significant stake in its future. But if losses persist, even the NBA might need to reconsider its level of involvement. Keeping NBA support may be crucial for the WNBA to avoid even greater financial strain. Caitlin Clark's popularity has introduced new fans but also created tensions within teams. Her quick rise has led to reported feelings of jealousy among some veteran players, as her presence draws attention away from others. This division could risk affecting team unity, performance, and support from fans. Unity is essential for the WNBA's growth, and capitalizing on Clark's momentum requires players to work together. If rivalries and tensions distract from the game, the league may alienate the new fan base drawn by Clark. WNBA players have been vocal about the need for fair revenue sharing. Unlike the NBA, where players receive a percentage of profits, the WNBA doesn't currently share revenue from merchandise, including Clark's high-selling jerseys. This lack of compensation has led players to call for renegotiation of the current collective bargaining agreement, CBA, expiring in 2027. However, the WNBA's financial strain complicates these negotiations. While players seek fair pay, the league must also reduce its deficit. Without a solution, the possibility of a lockout becomes more likely. Clark's influence on the WNBA's visibility is undeniable. With large crowds and high social media engagement, her impact has transformed the league's reach. Recognizing her value, the WNBA has reportedly offered Clark a significant contract worth over $100 million for 6 years to retain her influence. However, if financial challenges persist, Clark may consider opportunities abroad, where higher earnings and endorsements could await. The league's future could hinge on retaining Clark and meeting the needs of key players to sustain growth. The WNBA has plans to expand from 40 to 44 games in 2025 and introduce the Golden State Valkyries as a new team. This move aims to attract more fans and income. The league also plans to extend its playoff format to a best-of-7 series, hoping to generate more sponsorship interest. Sponsorships and endorsements are critical, particularly with Clark's marketability. Leveraging endorsement opportunities could increase the WNBA's income, but there's no guarantee this will be enough to balance its financial losses. In the end, cooperation among players, sponsors, and investors will be essential for stability. The WNBA's future remains uncertain as it contends with major financial issues, player demands, and the challenge of retaining top talent like Caitlin Clark. While her popularity is promising, it may not be enough to resolve the league's larger problems. Decisions on NBA support, player contracts, and revenue strategies will be critical in determining the league's trajectory. Will Clark's presence and the WNBA's expansion efforts bring stability, or are the financial challenges too great to overcome? The league must also navigate the competitive landscape of women's sports, where emerging leagues and increased visibility present both opportunities and threats. It's a defining moment for the WNBA, one that could shape the future of women's basketball for years to come. Thanks for joining us as we explore this pivotal time for the WNBA. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated on more developments in Caitlin Clark's journey and the future of women's basketball. Your support helps us cover these important stories. Your